Hey there. Thanks for showing up and tuning in. It genuinely means a lot. If you decide to hit that subscribe button, well, that would really mean everything. No exaggeration. Now, let's get into it. The sky over Los Angeles that evening looked like it had been painted in layers of smoke and dusk. A hush settled over the streets, not tranquil, just oddly suspended. Michael Carter had just clocked out from another grueling day as a creative director at a bustling ad agency. Same story. Long hours, coffee that tasted like cardboard, and an office chair that feigned comfort until your back gave out. His existence was reliable, even boring. Married to Allison for 7 years, no kids, just a cozy house in the suburbs, 2 faithful dogs, Ranger and Miles, and a Netflix account they constantly had to reset the password for. But that evening, something in the air shifted. As soon as Michael stepped into the house, he picked up on a presence, or rather, an absence, that made his stomach tighten. Not evidence of a burglary, something heavier. A tension like the house was exhaling slowly, but never inhaling again. Allison sat at the edge of their bed, fingers intertwined as if she were bracing herself to deliver a confession at a funeral. Her mascara had dried into faint streaks, not fresh tears, but the ghosts of a cry long finished. "I was with someone else," she said, barely audible. Michael didn't flinch. Couldn't. His mind froze somewhere between denial and shock. Who? He eventually managed to ask, his throat dry as dust. "Ethan," she said, and just like that, a chill ran through him like a shard of ice snapping down his spine. Ethan, his college roommate, his best man, his closest friend. Michael didn't scream, didn't cry. He simply grabbed his keys and walked out the door. He drove aimlessly for hours until he landed at a dingy roadside diner where he forced down a cold, rubbery cheeseburger he didn't even taste. Then he came home. He didn't go to their bed. He dropped onto the couch instead. Not as a declaration, just the only place his body could land under the weight of betrayal. The next day, Allison tried to open a conversation. He remained silent. By nightfall, he had zipped up his suitcase. He leashed the dogs, stepped out the front door, and didn't look back. 6 months later, their divorce papers were signed. Word spread. It wasn't just a personal collapse. It became a social spectacle. Ethan vanished from their mutual friend groups. Allison's name faded from every guest list and group chat involving Michael's side. Her sisters sent him quiet apologies, but none of it dulled the ache. He functioned like a ghost with a paycheck, his credit score solid, his soul less so. The silence didn't last forever, though. Whispers grew louder, truths bubbled up. Ethan wasn't the only one. Michael would discover, almost a year later, that Allison had betrayed him with others, people in their circle, work colleagues, even the neighbor down the street. She framed it as self-exploration. Her inner circle called it growth. Michael saw it for what it truly was, the conclusion. He didn't implode, he recalibrated. His sorrow became fuel. Early mornings turned into weightlifting sessions. He threw himself into fitness, boxing sessions, and therapy appointments. He quit drinking, cut sugar, and began reshaping every part of his life. The gym became his sanctuary, his physique a response to the emotional wreckage. And people noticed. His transformation became legend in their shared circles. But it wasn't just his body he rebuilt, it was his entire identity. He left corporate life behind, took on freelance gigs, then launched his own design company. Small contracts evolved into big ones. A campaign went viral. Suddenly, Forbes had him listed as one of the creative industry's rising stars. Once upon a time, Allison had rolled her eyes at his ambitions. Now, he was living them out loud. Still, accomplishment didn't equal closure. Peace didn't come from accolades. It came from reckoning, and she never offered that. Then, out of nowhere, 3 years after their lives split apart, a message lit up his phone. "Can we talk?" Michael stared at it, thumb hovering over the screen. He typed back, "Why?" The reply came fast. "It's not what you think." He almost laughed. That was her opener, after years of silence? He tossed the phone aside like it might poison the room, but curiosity lingers. That evening, after a quiet dinner and a long walk under the moon with Ranger and Miles, he checked again. The notification blinked. "I know I hurt you, but can we meet? Just once. I need closure." Closure. Like it was a lost receipt she'd forgotten to hand him years ago. He let it sit. For 7 days he didn't reply. But late one Thursday, running on caffeine and after a soft scroll through her social profiles, where she looked older, dimmer, smile tight and eyes tired, he responded. "Saturday, 2 p.m., park near Melrose." He showed up early, as always. Sat near the fountain, watched couples and joggers pass by. Then he spotted her. Allison approached slowly. Her eyes still carried the same light. Everything else? Weathered, not ruined, just worn. She wore a beige coat, hair neatly tied back, posture rehearsed, but brittle. "Hi, Mike," she said gently. He gave a small nod. "You wanted closure. Say what you need to say." She paused. "I don't even know how to begin." "Try the truth," he said, his tone cold and flat. She looked down, then began. Ethan had dumped her, left her for someone young enough to be a student. "She's 24, she murmured. "She actually calls him Daddy." Michael said nothing. She continued. About the loneliness, the judgment, how friends faded, family quit defending her, how the fallout didn't just hurt, it isolated her. "I thought you'd hate me forever," she admitted. "But then your name kept popping up, campaigns, articles, interviews." She looked up. "You look good, Mike. You always had this quiet strength, but now—" He turned away. "You didn't come here to hand out compliments. Say what you came to say." Tears filled her eyes. "I made the worst mistake of my life. I destroyed something real because I was chasing attention. You were stable. I thought I wanted chaos. I confused it for love." Michael's expression didn't shift. "So you demolished our marriage for adrenaline?" he asked. "I just wanted to feel desired," she whispered. There it was, the ugly, honest truth. She reached into her purse, pulling out an envelope, faded, soft around the edges. Inside, photos. Of them together. Beaches, forests, jazz bars in New Orleans. Laughter frozen in time. "I still look at these," she said. "I dream about who we were before I shattered it." He thumbed through the pictures, then held them out to her. "You didn't just shatter it, you torched it, lied over and over. And now you want a neat ending?" "I want redemption," she said, voice cracking. "I want to matter to you again." Michael shook his head slowly. "That's not yours to ask for anymore." She leaned forward, hope fraying at the edges. "I know it's too late, but I would give anything to take it all back." A silence spread between them, heavy and cold. Then Michael smiled, not warmly, but deliberately. "Anything?" She nodded. "Yes." His gaze pierced through her. "Perfect. Then I'm going to give you something unforgettable. Just like you gave me." Her face drained. "What does that mean?" He slid on his sunglasses. "You'll find out." And he turned, walking away, her fingers clutching old photos and a lifetime she couldn't rewind. That was the moment his real response began. Not loud or childish. Not cruel, but precise. Measured. Designed to leave an impression deeper than anger. Each step he took echoed with clarity and intent. For years, her betrayal had been his shadow. Healing alone wasn't enough. She needed to feel it. Not through guilt. Not through tears. Through the unflinching mirror of consequence. And Michael already knew where to begin. That night he opened an old Dropbox folder labeled Us. Not out of nostalgia, but strategy. Inside, messages, photos, patterns, triggers. A plan was already taking shape. He sifted through the old screenshots, fragments of their past preserved in digital ink. Each message from her echoed with subtle manipulation, denial wrapped in tenderness, and carefully concealed cruelty. Promises once presented as unwavering truths now lay bare as transparent lies. He studied them one by one, his face unreadable, like a surgeon reviewing the autopsy of a long-dead thing. Then, he launched a new document on his desktop and titled it simply, The Restoration Project. This wasn't about revenge. It was about reclaiming the version of himself she had tried to erase. If her world shook in the process, he wouldn't mourn the tremors. He reached out to someone he hadn't spoken to in ages, Claire Reynolds. Once a co-worker, she had been among the rare few who had seen through Allison long before the collapse. Back then, Claire had held her observations in silence. Now she was a leading strategist at a prominent PR agency. His message to her was brief. Claire, need 15 minutes. Face to face. It's worth your time. Her reply came fast. Name the place. They met the next day in a polished cafe tucked away downtown. Claire arrived with her characteristic calm, the sharp lines of her blazer outclassing his simpler attire. You look dangerous, she quipped with a sly smile. In a good way. I need a favor, he said. I thought so, she replied. This is about Allison, isn't it? He didn't hold anything back. He laid it all out, Allison's reappearance, her tears, her apologies, and, more importantly, how he was done walking away in silence. Claire leaned back in her chair, eyes narrowed with thought. You're not out to destroy her. You're aiming to expose the canyon between the mask she wore and what she actually did. Michael gave a small nod. That's it. I don't want to attack her. I want the illusion gone. Calmly. Publicly. Claire tapped her pen against her lip, thoughtful. Then we start by making you visible. By the end of their meeting, a plan had taken shape. Phase 1. Reframe. Michael's digital presence was given a full overhaul. Not false, just elevated. New portraits, polished bios. Career milestones spotlighted through quiet, well-placed media mentions. Former colleagues began reaching out again, resharing his achievements. Every move calculated, every update intentional. This wasn't a counter-strike. It was illumination. She had tossed away the spotlight, and now it was his to claim. Phase 2. The Appearance. Claire booked him as a speaker for an upcoming creative tech summit, one she'd be moderating. Not just any summit, though. Allison's firm was listed as a sponsor. Michael entered the venue with measured poise, clean lines in his suit, freshly cut hair, no wedding ring, no hostility, just undeniable presence. And, inevitably, there she was, Allison, stationed at her company's booth, dressed with the air of someone trying to reclaim youth already gone. Next to her, a junior employee shifted awkwardly. Allison looked up, eyes locking with his. She froze. He acknowledged her with a calm nod and walked past. Claire took the stage. Our next speaker is known for his work in narrative strategy and personal transformation. Please welcome Michael Carter. Applause broke across the room. In the back, Allison went pale. Michael didn't mention her. He didn't need to. His words were deliberate, honed. Sometimes, we're forced to evolve into the person someone else was too blind to recognize. And when we do, it's not about moving on. It's about becoming. We rebuild, and by the time they notice, we've become someone else entirely. The room erupted. Allison remained frozen. Later, she waited by the exit. Michael, she started. He passed by without pause. No venom, no warmth, only distance. That night, a message came. You were brilliant. I'm proud of you. He didn't reply. The silence stretched. Days passed, then weeks. He never reached back. But Allison slowly unraveled. It began in the shadows. Likes on old posts, anonymous comments on his videos, and finally, an email. Subject line, please, no body text. Just the one word, like a confession without courage. But Michael had already moved somewhere she couldn't follow. He wasn't seeking closure. He was offering a lesson. Phase 3. Reflection. Claire shifted focus. It was time for Allison to see what she'd done, without confrontation. Michael reconnected with Alex and Diane, an older couple who had once sided with Allison during the split. Distance had grown since, but time had eroded the false narrative. They met at a rooftop restaurant downtown. Diane spoke first. "We should have come to you, back then. She told us you were cold, controlling, said you never really loved her." Michael offered a soft smile. "She told me I was too emotional, that I overwhelmed her. Amazing, isn't it? How both can be true when both are lies." Alex leaned in, troubled. "We didn't know about Ethan. Or anyone else." "She said it was just him," Diane added. "A mistake. A moment of weakness. We believed her." Michael nodded. "I used to believe her too." That evening he gave them what Allison never did. The truth. And in doing so, he reclaimed part of the story she tried to bury. Then came Phase 4. Revelation. Claire released a short-form video, an elegant, layered dissection of emotional branding and professional betrayal. No names, no direct references. But to those familiar with the story, the message rang unmistakably clear. Someone sent it to Allison. She watched it alone as rain dotted the windows in slow judgment. Her children were with their grandmother. Ethan had long since blocked her. Work? Shaky. Her firm had seen Michael's summit speech. They were considering hiring him as a consultant. Pure brand gold, her boss had called him. They wanted him involved in upcoming campaigns. She would have to sit across from him in meetings. Her pride began to splinter. That night she called. It went to voicemail. "Michael, it's me. I know I have no right to ask, but I need to see you. Just once. Please. I'm not okay. I haven't been. I realize now what I lost, and it hurts more than I can explain." Michael didn't call back. Instead, he sent one text. "Meet me where we first said, 'I love you.'" Saturday, 6 p.m. The final scene was ready. Michael arrived early to the cliffside at Laguna Beach. Below, the sea whispered. The same weathered bench where they'd carved their initials years ago waited, worn smooth by sun and time. Allison showed up right on time. She looked different now, tired, worn, hollow. She sat beside him in silence. The wind spoke where they didn't. "I remember that night," she murmured. "After the fight at the diner, you brought me here and said, 'I don't need perfect, just honest.'" Michael kept his eyes on the ocean. "You remember?" "I never forgot," she said. "But I wasn't honest. I let people in who didn't belong. I let them twist things. I was selfish." Her voice cracked. "And now I wake up every day wishing I could take it all back." Michael finally looked at her. "Do you still love me?" Her eyes filled. She nodded. "More than I ever did before. More than I have any right to." He leaned closer. "Then begin by telling me everything." "What did you say?" he asked, his voice calm but unyielding. "Start from the beginning. List every person, every betrayal, every deception you've ever hidden from me. All of it. Right now." She trembled, her words barely audible. "Michael, Say it," he cut in. No shouting. He didn't need to raise his voice. So she complied. One by one, she named them. Friends, casual acquaintances, people they interacted with daily, shared smiles with. She confessed to manipulating his trust, to letting outside voices cloud her judgment, and to sleeping with Ethan while Michael was away, attending a funeral no less. When she finished speaking, Michael rose to his feet. "That's all I needed to hear?" Her expression shifted, alarmed. "Wait, what does that mean?" He looked directly at her. "It means I finally have what you never gave me. Honesty. You'll bear it. I won't." Then he delivered the final blow. "I'm engaged," he said. She went rigid. "Excuse me?" He held up his phone and revealed a photo. Him with a woman named Rebecca, radiant and steady, her hand resting over his chest. A diamond ring shimmered on her finger. Rebecca was everything Allison had never been. Allison's voice faltered. "You brought me here just to tell me that?" He nodded once. "You said you needed closure. This is it." She didn't break down with drama or wails. Her tears were quiet, measured, mourning something long gone. Michael turned and walked away. As he stepped away from the cliffside, the wind shifted. Each step felt like releasing years of heaviness. He didn't look back. There was nothing left there for him. Closure didn't live in her guilt. It lived in his choice to let go of ruins. Back in the city, his life found a new cadence, one centered on progress, not pain. At his desk, he closed a folder labeled Restoration Project. He didn't shred it. He didn't need to. It wasn't about revenge anymore. It was a record of how he rebuilt after the collapse. Healing wasn't the only thing that waited on the other side. Purpose did too. Rebecca wasn't just loving or beautiful. She was real, brutally honest, kind, but never enabling. She didn't make love feel like something he had to earn through suffering. They met at a leadership summit. Not by coincidence, by timing. She'd been in the audience for his keynote. Afterward, she came up to him and said, "That wasn't a presentation. That was survival. I can tell the difference." She had her own scars, a broken engagement, a family torn apart over inheritance, and a belief that second chances existed, but only for those who'd proven they'd grown. Their early dates moved cautiously, not from fear, but out of mutual respect. No rushing, no premature confessions. They built slowly, with integrity. Michael eventually told her everything. About Allison, not with bitterness, not with dramatic flair. Just facts. The truth, plain and simple. Rebecca listened, then replied, "You're not broken. You're refined. And if she let you go, that's on her." Their relationship didn't grow from desperation. It grew from understanding. Mornings began with coffee and crossword puzzles. Afternoons were spent filming videos for her travel blog. Michael, once awkward in front of a lens, now joined her on camera, laughing and speaking freely. Together, they didn't just create content. They created a shared life. Sunday nights, they walked nature trails near their loft, where conversations had no limits. Love, business, fears, past dreams, possible children. One evening, Rebecca asked, "Do you think she still watches your videos?" Michael grinned. "Every last one." Meanwhile, Allison's unraveling was quiet. Not theatrical, just solitary. The friends who once championed her recklessness had either grown up or found new disasters to chase. Ethan disappeared after his affair led to an unplanned pregnancy. Her career plateaued while Michael's flourished. Her father stopped defending her. Her sister stopped replying to late-night voicemails. And Instagram? It became torment. There was Michael, cooking, laughing, traveling, goofing off behind Rebecca as she shared recipes on video. The comments stung in their joy. "You two give me hope. He looks so alive. This is what real love looks like." Allison began sending vague, poetic messages again. Things like, "Some birds only find home when the winds shift." Michael never opened them, but he always noticed when they came, always just after midnight, every single time. Then came her final embarrassment. An old friend, the one who once pushed her to leave Michael for Ethan, messaged him. But this time, it wasn't filled with spite. It was filled with regret. "I was wrong," she wrote. "I said you weren't ambitious. I didn't see who you really were. None of us did. I'm not reaching out for anything. I just needed to say it." Michael didn't reply, but he smiled. Later, on a seaside cliff not far from the one where he'd ended things with Allison, he proposed to Rebecca. No fanfare, no kneeling, just simple words. "You're the calm after everything, the peace I didn't think I could have. Will you share the future with me?" Her eyes filled with tears. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Someone nearby happened to film it. They didn't post it, but the bystander did, tagging Rebecca. The video exploded online. They became more than a couple. They became proof. Peace is a decision. Healing is real. Allison saw it. Of course she did. She even tried to comment. "Treasure him. He's one of a kind." Rebecca blocked her immediately. Months later, Michael and Rebecca wed at a candlelit vineyard. Gentle music played. Laughter echoed among 80 guests who truly knew him. No one from his past was there. No Allison. No skeptics. Only those who had seen him grow. After the reception, Michael stepped out alone, sipping wine beneath the stars. Claire, a longtime friend, approached. "So you finally won," she said. He shook his head. "Not a win, a way out. That's better." She lifted her glass. "To never needing closure again." They clinked glasses and drank. A year later, Michael's company merged with a major tech firm. Rebecca's blog became one of the coast's fastest-growing travel platforms. They adopted a rescue dog named Leo. Even the guinea pigs were thriving. As for Allison, she quietly sold her condo and returned to her parents' home. No more posts, no more cryptic texts. She didn't disappear because she failed. She faded, because that's what happens when reality finally catches up. Michael never wished her pain, but he never missed her either. Sometimes the most powerful form of revenge is choosing to walk away, without ever turning back. And so, our path comes to an end here. You're welcome to share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you sincerely for being here and giving us a moment of your day. If this story touched something within you, we invite you to discover more on our channel. Until we meet again, be well, dear friend.